Greetings and hello. This new video series is about a three-part trifecta of the three major ways that misandry or society's hatred toward men manifests. These issues are at the very top of violations of men's human rights. It is imperative that they be dealt with, or else men will never even come close to getting their rights at the basic level. This video will talk about conscription, men forced to fight for a misandric government, at the behest of the resource hoarding that women demand. These men are forced to die for a government that spits on and spites them every chance it gets. First and foremost, conscription is a violation of men's human right to their own personhood and livelihood. It prevents men from living out their envisioned life, which they are entitled to, by abducting them and forcing them into a particular system. Even that is against basic human rights, when it is not even touching the lethal nature of such a system. Men's lives get disrupted and put on hold, all because a misandric system demands it. This means their career prospects and financial security get limited, and that they are forced to do someone else's bidding when they do not consent to it. Women are allowed free rein over their lives because everybody respects them. This respect is not afforded to the male sex, which is proof that the feminist argument of men being respected more is bogus. Women are also not forced by governmental systems or anyone for that matter to stop their careers and do something they do not want. It is only men who are subjected to this kind of treatment. All because society wants sacrificial tools to uphold female privilege and social dominance. The draft and such so-called service is only directed at men. Men are the ones who will be going to the front lines to kill other men. The royal class, which are women, get to sit back at home and relax, while the men are doing their bidding to bring more luxuries to them. Men are always the ones tasked with doing the fighting, even in so-called progressive societies. Women are not called upon to shed their blood in actual conflict, as they are the ones who demand such atrocities take place. Even in countries like Israel, where both men and women have to do service, it is the men who bear the majority of responsibility. Women are given the much less dangerous jobs, and the men are given the most difficult and the ones closest to the combat. Just like it is in a civilian setting where women demand men work tough and long hours to keep them around. Women are privileged everywhere, even where it would be beneficial to send them out. This shows society puts female privilege over so-called protection. This is all part of the gender roles that women and thus mothers demand their sons fall into. The son is treated less than human and shown his place, while the daughter gets everything handed to her. That is female privilege simplified, where men are abused at the behest of women. Then these same men become self-loathing attack dogs for the female sex, and turn their sights on other men to abuse, so that they can gain status to bribe a woman. It all starts with the mother, and make no mistake, it is women's demands which have caused this misandric society. The mother's goal is not to protect her son, but to create a tool which will serve the gynocracy. This is why mothers enable their sons abuse and feed into it by saying, quote, "Boys do not cry" and other low-life nonsense. The mother's primary goal is to uphold her own privilege and social dominance, and if it means sacrificing her son, so be it. This is how war and other misandric institutions perpetuate themselves, through the male being ingrained with self-loathing from day one. The delusion that women love men for themselves also does not help. Hypothetically, women could also fight alongside men, as they are capable of holding weapons and doing the same things that short, not physically strong men are. A bullet from a woman and a bullet from a man are the same thing. So in essence, the male-only draft is doing a disservice to the country, where the prospective number of troops is cut in half. You can spare the BS about women being emotional because we as a species are emotional. Just women brainwash men to see them that way, so that they can have social dominance and gain privilege. The whole facade of the weak innocent woman who needs to be protected is in the same camp as this, as it reinforces the gynocentric hierarchy of men being forced to throw their lives away for the woman. During the most recent war in Ukraine, there were shown to be a few young teenage boys conscripted to fight. These boys were roughly around the size of an adult woman. If these boys are fighting, then why aren't women fighting too? Simple, society wants to discard males even if they are just children, and give privilege to the woman, since that is what society revolves around. Again, it is not about protecting children, but privileging women. If pro-male societies existed, there would not even be a need for armies or war, because there would be no need to attack other countries, since only women demand that from men to acquire more goodies and exert their social dominance. And how are the men who fight in these wars treated when they come back home? They are ignored and left to die on the street. The most that they get is lip service from society in how they did their noble duty, but still, they receive nothing in return, just empty platitudes. This extends to everything else, as anyone who uses a platitude is just trying to shut the conversation down maliciously. This is considered verbal hostility on top of the already hostile environment that the soldiers came from, to be met with a different variant of that hostile environment. Not even basic amenities are provided to such veterans. Plus on top of that, they come back home with illnesses such as post-traumatic stress disorder and/or other bodily damage, which makes their everyday life much harder. So, not only did these men risk their lives and come out with damage, the society that they come back to spits in their face and tells them to suck it up. So it is 2 haymaker punches to the face one after another. This is the ugly backside of the coin that is termed with the malicious euphemism of conscription. The front side of that coin also features more malicious things like male-on-male hostility among fellow troops. This is quite common and can range from verbal abuse to more vile things like hazing. So, not only do these men face threats from the enemy, they encounter them from gynocentric males. And it is this way because these men were brought up by male hostile parents who demonize males and instill heavy self-loathing, so they attack anyone in their gender, but do not even dare lay their hands on a woman, even when she is assaulting them. These men are female-worshipping lapdogs trying to steal whatever the men below them have, and give it to their women, true thugs. In essence, conscription supplies the tools needed to society to steal from other countries and give them to its women. Men are worthless to society outside of their role set by women to provide and pamper them. Women do not want to be with men, and are only with them for the lifestyle and pampering that they provide. This includes luxuries and resource hoarding. This is exactly why wars are fought, so that one country can go in and take the other's stuff and give it all to their women, because they are the ones who demand it in the first place. Innocent men pay the price for women's demands, which results in the male human rights violation of conscription. It is also enforced by gynocentric, usually older men who want the younger male population to die, which means more resources for themselves. This way, they can increase their own bribing power so that a woman can select them. This is what the whole trad-con mentality is about, denying other men even the most basic of livelihoods, and giving what is supposed to be theirs to privileged, pampered, protected, and coddled women. It is a tale as old as time. By seeing the root cause of the vileness known as conscription, men can detach themselves from wanting to pursue women and resource hoard, to working together for their human rights. This gynocentric society has nothing for men, so men have to remake it to be androcentric. We can then rightfully put men who have to fight tooth and nail to live basic lives, and give them the rights they are worthy of due to being human, and end female supremacy. By doing this, we can end conscription and at the same time war, if the pro-male cause becomes international. It is time we put male welfare over the demands and tantrums of coddled and entitled women. The hashtag conscription is murder is a start.